Florida with a degree in telecommunication. She went on to receive her meteorology degree from the Mississippi State University. Felicia joined WPBF Channel 25 in 1998 and has spent over 20 years covering the stories and issues important to South Florida. And if you know, one of the things you look at Florida, you look at the Hispanic community in Florida, it's about, out of the 18 million people we are, it's about 25% were Hispanics. And in some communities, even higher than that. You know, if you look to Representative Kerner, what is about 75%? You know, back there. So it is something that is really impacting. Before coming to West Palm Beach, Felicia lived and worked in Panama City Beach as a reporter and monitoring Anchor News. When not at work, she loved hosting dinner parties and family, friends, and all that. And she has a beautiful daughter. Felicia, welcome. Please come on down.
Good evening. I'm so glad you got everyone's attention, Juan. I am honored to be back here tonight to MC the Shinning Star Awards. This organization really has a special place in my heart because it was one of the first events that I was actually ever asked to do many, many years ago, Santos. And I am so proud to be a part of it. WPBF 25 is proud to partner with the Puerto Rican Hispanic Chamber because we know and appreciate all the good that this chamber is doing in our community. Tonight we thank the Chamber Board of Directors, who are volunteers themselves, as you heard Juan say, for what they do to educate and empower local small business owners, as well as putting together events like Fiesta de Pueblo, a free festival where local community children receive presents from the Three Kings. Tonight's event will honor leaders in our community who go above and beyond in the areas of business, public service, education, law enforcement, and health. At this time, please join me in welcoming our guest speaker this evening, Florida State Representative and newly elected County Commissioner, Honorable David M. Kerner. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that very kind and warm introduction. This is, for me, a very personal honor to be the keynote speaker because in 2014, I myself had the honor of being recognized as a shining or rising star and shining star. And Juan spoke about this in his opening remarks about this organization, the Puerto Rican Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, what the focus of this organization is. And that it's not just about building relationships and building your business, but more importantly, it's about helping the community, extending that hand to people that need it the most. And so to the honorees here tonight, this is a huge honor. This is a huge testament to your commitment to public service. You know, I was talking with a colleague of mine, Edwin, at the table about the recent elections that we've just gone through. And I know that it was very contentious. It was, lots of rhetoric was involved. We saw the worst side of politics, as we have for many years, quite frankly. But what's happening right now in this process, what's happening right now over the next couple of weeks, is that transition of power as the old president leaves and the new president comes in. And what it is a peaceful transition of power. And what that represents is perhaps the most important ideal of our democracy, is that no matter who wins or who loses, whether it's your candidate or my candidate, who you voted for or who you didn't vote for, that transition of power in America will occur because we are all Americans, and that is the defining ideal of our democracy. But while this process is occurring, ladies and gentlemen, let's remember how fortunate we are to have these freedoms here in America, how fortunate we are to be able to participate in community service, how fortunate we are to live in a system of government where we can extend that helping hand to those folks in our community that need it the most. That's what this Chamber of Commerce is all about. And that's why this award and the people that are receiving this award tonight should be so honored. I've had 2 professional careers in my life. One is as a police officer, one is as an elected representative in the Florida House of Representatives, and most recently as a county commissioner. In both of those careers, you see the worst in people, and you also see people at their worst in life. I'm sure Chief Deputy Gauger can talk more about that than I can, but believe me when I say, there are folks in this community that need our help. As an elected representative, I've seen the worst in politics and worst in governance. I've seen elected officials call each other names and attack each other on a personal level. And how sad that is for society. But what we lose in that process and what we forget is that every day, regular folks like you and I wake up with that spirit of civic service. And we wake up finding a way to help another person in our life, whether it's a neighbor, a family member, somebody we don't know. And so if we put all that negativity aside for a moment and remember why we're here tonight, it's to remember that folks in this community still give out that reaching hand. We still care about our neighbor. We still have love for one another. So tonight is about the men and women that are going to earn these awards tonight. And I'm reminded of a very personal story and experience that I had when I was a police officer. It was a traffic crash, and a young 14-year-old man had passed away. And where I worked in North Florida, it was not unusual to go out in a truck and tear up an open field. And on this occasion, the truck had flipped and a young man was ejected, and he lost his life. This is something that police officers and firefighters deal with every day. What happens when somebody passes away in a traffic crash is that somebody has to notify the next of kin. And at 20 years old, I was given that task. My sergeant was there at the scene doing the investigation, the traffic homicide investigation, and I was the only one that could do it. And I remember trying to muster up the courage to go up to the family's home and knock on the door and let that mother and father know that their 14-year-old son had passed away. And I did the best job that I could do. There's no good way, there's no bad way to do it, but I did it with compassion, and I did it in a manner that I thought would honor and give credence to a life that had passed. And about a week later, I received a written note in the mail at the police department, and it was from the mother. And the mother had said how grateful she was that I was compassionate, how grateful she was to have somebody that truly cared deliver that news to her. And there was no special way that I did it. Every police officer will tell you there's no way to tell someone that their son has died. But what it reminded me of, what it taught me, was that people in their time of need the most will appreciate a helping hand the most. And that's what tonight is about, again. I found a quote here from Confucius. It says, "He who wishes to secure the good of others has already secured his own." And so let us remember that as we aspire to help those in our community, we actually receive all that back. Some people call it karma. Confucius said it very well. He who wishes to secure the good of others has already secured his own. I think that's a very poignant point to remember as we honor these folks tonight. I want to read the names of the ladies and gentlemen and the company that has received this award tonight, so forgive me if I jumble it a little bit, but I'm going to do my best. Dr. Ivan Merkel, Healthcare Professional of the Year. Chief Deputy Michael Gauger. Everybody knows the chief. Lisa Almache, Educator of the Year. Lieutenant Robert Quiones, Law Enforcement Official of the Year. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Helman Ruiz, Media Personality of the Year. And the National Lumber and Hardware Company of the Year. So, in closing, these folks, these men and women, this company, they're about to receive a very important award for their public service. From educators to medical professionals to law enforcement officers. It is one thing to give an award, and it's one that I proudly display in my office, by the way, Sam. And it's a wonderful gesture. But as a community, as a Chamber of Commerce, let's stop for a minute and think how we can truly honor these ladies and gentlemen. And so my message to you would be, as we leave here today, let's recommit ourselves as a community to extending that helping hand. Let's remember as the holidays approach that there are people in need. There are people less fortunate than us. There are neighbors of ours and family members of ours that could use our help. Perhaps if we leave here tonight and recommit ourselves to that principle, we will have truly given honor to the ladies and gentlemen that are being awarded tonight. Thank you for this opportunity, Sam. Thank you to the Chamber for having me as your keynote speaker. It's a deep honor, and thank you for allowing me to serve.